We're living in a fairy tale, in the middle of the sea. I'm so for real, sipping my ginger ale, and I'm on a cloud, and I am not coming down. I am not coming down, as long as you around. On a cloud. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm Talia Tees, and let's get talkative. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 6, episode 11, and we open up at Candiace's house. Yes, that new beautiful home of hers and Chris's. So we got Mama Dot, that's right, Dorothy, getting her little Mama Joyce on. You might remember Mama Joyce from Real Housewives of Atlanta and how she came on her and just turned it all the way up. Well, Miss Dot is no different. We see her critiquing her furniture, and Candiace says that she's visiting more now than she was when her name was on the mortgage. So she says she's seeing a lot more Miss Dot these days, and it probably doesn't help that she has this really nice room too. So Dorothy is basically here because of the video shoot that she has going on this week, but essentially she's getting on her nerves. So then we switch over to Giselle and her oldest girl, Grace. So you might remember that, the poor thing failed the learner's permit like 5 times, y'all. Yes, 5 times. So she finally passed. And now they're actually going to practice. So we see Giselle setting up, the orange cones and whatnot. So in the confessional, which I always love with her daughters because it's so cute. But in the confessional, she's like, yeah, so now you're going to be driving to little boys. And she said, no, the boys will drive to me. I know that's right. Make them come to you, honey. I don't care if you got your license. All right, so as they in the car and they get to driving, oh my God, they screaming, and the poor child, she just hitting the curbs, and she's about to tear that little Fiat up or whatever it is, her little Gucci Fiat. But it is just hilarious watching her and her daughter try to drive this damn car. And Giselle basically said if Jamal was around the corner, she would definitely be dropping her off and he would be taking care of this. But, since like most single mommies got to do, you got to man up, you got to do it all. So kudos to her for showing her baby girl how to drive, and congrats to Grace for finally passing. But don't kill your mama in this car. So over at Mia and G's house, we see them with their youngest son, Jeremiah, which is a cutie pie, but they're just basically getting him prepared for his virtual learning. And Mia lets us know that when she first met Gordon, he had owned 14 franchises. So once they unified, she became more of the manager and pretty much was the more at the forefront, and Gordon stayed home with the kids. So I think that's what's up. He's an older man. Let's also be clear about that too. So it is nice that with their dynamic, she's willing and has the capacity mentally to step in. So that's what's up. So after they get Jeremiah settled, she FaceTimes her mom, Veronica, and she invites her out for ice cream with the kids because, she's really trying to reconnect with her, especially after that last meeting where her mom, admitted to her that she tried to commit suicide because of her beloved father. And we all know that Mia cherished and adored her father. So it was really kind of eye-opening to see that a lot of the issues that her mother had that unfortunately kept her from being a mother to Mia were all as a result of the man that Mia loved so much, her dad. But nonetheless, she is trying to progress with this relationship. And I'm really rooting for them because it's so important to have a mom. It really is. Now, Mia also lets us know that she has twin siblings that are about 7 years younger than her. And she also has an older brother that's about 8 years older. Now, her sister has children and she's not married like Mia is. So sometimes Mia feels like because her mother lives with her, she helps her out a lot. Their relationship is pretty codependent. It's kind of like one can't do anything without the other. And as a result of that, Mia feels like that kind of infringes on the time that she could be having with her mother, trying to build that relationship and make up for that lost time. So, I think that's kind of sad, because it just kind of shows you that no matter how old you get, that dynamic of being a child to your parent just never goes away, because here we have this big grown woman that's basically like, I wish my mommy would make time for me. And again, it just goes to show you that even when you get grown, it is still very vital to have your parents there. And again, it just makes me kind of sad to just see how, Mia just constantly keeps feeling rejected by her mother. So hopefully, they can kind of turn that around. So then she moves on and starts talking about how to G, how she has to, go to Candiace's little video shoot, and how the theme is like Fast and Furious. So, they, want them to all be kind of dressed similar to that movie. Now, I don't know if y'all caught this, but it just really seemed like they just kept zooming in on my girl Mia eggs. Now, I don't know if they felt like they were just not appealing or what, but they kept zooming in on this girl eggs. Now, I didn't think they was bad. I mean, I've seen better, but I didn't think it was like worth them continuing to zoom in on these girls' scrambled eggs. Dang. So she goes on to tell G about, basically the dynamic between Chris and Candiace, and how he's, her husband-ger. And G says, "What's that?" Like, he looked genuinely confused. Like, what the hell is that? So, she went on to just kind of basically let us know that in the beginning, when her and G got together, he tried it. But she told him, "You ain't my daddy or my granddaddy if you talking about Mary Cosby over on Salt Lake City. But you ain't neither near one of them. So you ain't about to boss me around. You are not the boss of me. Now, I am here to supplement this situation. But baby, please believe I don't need nobody managing me." Okay, Mia, you go, girl. And I mean, obviously, it was good that she did put her foot down, because clearly the way they moving and shaking, if all is correct, it seems like it was a good thing, for her to come in with an independent way of thinking. So kudos to them. So me and G, they kind of wrap it up and just kind of talk about how, Chris and Candiace need to be careful, because when you're intertwining that business world with your emotions, that starts to kind of, trickle into the household. And once it starts to get in your household, it start messing with that bedroom. And once you start messing with that bedroom, that's when it all goes boom, right? So I think that she's making a really good point. It's a very thin line when you are dealing with someone, and on that level, a spouse, but then you're also dealing with them from a business perspective. That's very tough, especially if your relationship wasn't necessarily founded within that world. I don't know if it's necessarily safe. So yeah, I agree with Mia. They might want to take a step back, because as we're seeing, it's not really working for them anyway. All right, so back in Potomac at Karen's house, we see her FaceTiming with Rob and her publicist. And she talks about how her candles line, that's an expansion of Ladam, has pretty much been in the work for a year and a half. So she's been pondering and planning on this. Now she goes on to let us know that Wendy's candles are different than hers. Karen has 3 wicks in her candles. So this 3-wick candle can, fill up a foyer, a whole first level of a home, right? Versus Wendy's, maybe giving us more of a powder room tease, a little small bathroom, one of them ones that they put on the first floor, but it don't have no shower, just a nice little, a toilet seat and something to wash your hands. That's what hers is filling up. Okay, well, that is a difference. But, in true grand dame fashion, she ended it by wishing Wendy well. So, she gonna deliver us a little bit of shade and put a cute little cherry on top, right? So we move over to Wendy's home, and Eddie is bringing the candles down in the office. Hey, Eddie, with your fine self. Now, Wendy, she looks really cute in this episode. I gotta say, she really stepped her game up, because Wendy, beautiful woman. It's just the hair, extending all the way down to her eyebrows, the, terracotta colored foundation on that beautiful mahogany skin. It is just beautiful to see that she finally got her some Fenty Beauty or something, but she finally got the right shade for that beautiful color skin of hers, and she's got that hairline pulled back. So, I'm just so happy for Wendy because she looks so much better, and she is really just gorgeous at this point. So anywho, Eddie comes downstairs with her candles and into the office, and he basically, kind of picks up asking her about this candle business. How's it going? And it flashbacks to him giving her like that third degree previously when he asked her about her plan, and she basically said she didn't have one. So Wendy said that, she's been thinking a lot about what he says, and she wants to present to him, that shows that she is in this and she's really taking this seriously. So as she begins, we see that it is a complete snooze fest. Eddie can't even keep his eyes on her. He's getting distracted and it's just boring. So once she gets done, Eddie's like, so what are you selling them for? How much does it cost to make? How much is this? How much is your max? He starts again asking her the types of questions that you totally missed in your business proposal. That should be addressing those things, right? So Wendy tells us in her confessional that she needs to get all her receipts, throw them into Excel, hit the thing, draft it up, and then, hit the total bar, and then boom, she's got it. She'll know how much she's, making and what's going in and out. Now, Wendy, if this is how you are keeping track of your books, you're going to be just like Robin on the IRS and them. 90K or more. You cannot keep your books like that, baby girl. If that's really how you keeping your books, you should have just went on ahead and kept that to yourself, because the Lord have mercy. So Eddie goes on and he says, basically that he's here to support her, but up until your ass be spending too much money. So like he said, you ain't about to spend all my money up trying to get this candle line off the ground. But I got you just to a point. And that's real. So on another episode of Toddlers and Titties, we see Ashley pull up to, I guess it's Uncle Lump's house. I'm not sure if it's the mom or the uncle's house, but anywho, Dylan is just screaming his lungs out. Oh my God. Like, I hate when babies get to that point of crying where it's like that little like it's like their vocal cords are like wavering or something. I don't know, but he was doing all of that. So they walk in. The family's here, mom, Uncle Lump, some cousins, her brother Zach. So, I have to say, I really like Ashley's family. I feel like her uncle gives her really sound advice. And I feel like he really cares for her, because her mama seems a little nutty. I ain't even gonna lie. But it is nice to see that Ashley does have someone in her life that's somewhat of a voice of reason. So Ashley can't resist with her oversharing and lets the whole room know that the uterus of hers has prolapsed, and how you can see a bubble. She starts pointing to her inner thigh about a bubble. It's like, ew, Ashley, we don't want to know these things about your private area. This woman, she let us know how her booty hole got ripped open. And then, it's always something going on down there. And we don't need to know that, especially with your philandering husband. It adds credence to why this man be out here constantly stepping out, because your inside's falling out and apart. But anywho, Uncle Lump's wife even had to tell her, that's just straight up nasty, girl, with her little fake laugh. But yeah, that's pretty gross. So she gets a little more serious and starts to tell them about, how she never thought she'd have an attractive nanny, and how she thought, she would have kind of kept that off limits considering some of the issues that her and her husband have had. So then her mother went on to say that she feels that the reason why things have changed in terms of Ashley's husband's behavior is because they pretty much set consequences. Now, I just want to say this, that man gonna do what he want to do. And if Ashley has not moved him to want to remain faithful, mama, I'm sorry, but you laying down whatever laws you think you laying down ain't gonna do nothing. Okay. He's gonna do what he wants to do, period. So Uncle Lump, you know, pretty much still don't trust him. And Ashley kind of mentioned that, you know, she kind of doesn't like that because she really cares for Uncle Lump, and to see the two men in her life, honestly, and they really don't deal with each other, even though Michael is making a better effort to come around more, she still knows that there's a little bit of a void there. So it kind of bothers her. But Ashley moves on and lets them know that Michael wants to move into movie making. So her uncle is just like, well, you know, that's mind blowing because that's definitely not a cousin to real estate. So I couldn't imagine starting something so off course of what I already do at this juncture with a wife and two small children. So Ashley was like, well, you know, basically we're going to get involved together. And, you know, Uncle Lump is like, well, honey, you know, y'all did this before, you know, with their Oz restaurant, the Australian cuisine that really didn't do well. And then Bravo with a messy ass gives us this nice flashback of her in the parking lot chewing Michael out in regards to some sort of a business matter with their fledgling restaurant, which is now closed. But Uncle Lump ultimately wishes them well and just kind of moves on, you know, like, you know, good people do. So good luck to them and Michael in his movie making career. So we see Robin and Juan headed to a place called Roll-Up. So essentially, it's a business that offers small businesses operational spaces. So they find out that it costs about $1,700 to $2,000 a month to rent. And Juan right off the bat was like, "Oh, that's expensive." You know, and then Robin goes in to kind of talk about how they're already $100,000 over budget on the home that they are building. And, you know, she's like, well, you know, this is forever and you just don't want to get in there and be like, oh, I should have got those marble floors, or oh, I should have got that countertop. So she's just like, let's just go ahead and get it done. But, you know, when you bring up additional costs on top of this mortgage that you're going to have to take care of, it's a bit much. So then Juan, you know, actually tells her ultimately that she needs to start thinking bigger and just go for it. Coach Juan. So Robin then kind of uses this opportunity to just kind of let him know, you know, I appreciate the motivation, but sometimes I need the coach to put his whistle down because you can be a little hard sometimes. And she just basically expressed how she feels bad sometimes after talking to him because he might say she's unattractive, or, you know, she just wants him to be a little bit more softer. So Juan, he hugs her and, you know, basically says that he's going to try to do better. But for me, just looking at Juan and Robin, this gives me very much brother and sister. And I think the dynamic between the two of them definitely lends to that. Juan, if you are not familiar with the show, Juan's parents, pretty much, he didn't know his father, and his mother died when he was very young, still in high school. And at the time, him and Robin were together, little high school sweethearts. So Robin's parents took him in. So I kind of feel like it became an obligation to do right by Robin because of the fact that he might feel like he owes it to their family because they took him in when he had no one. But in terms of the real love being there, the romance, I don't see it in between these two. I really don't. And honestly, it really gives me roommates. They seem like real good, happy roommates. But in terms of a romance, I don't see a spark between the two of them. I really don't. And I really would like to see if they're going to really go ahead and get married and if they're really going to do this because, yeah, I think Juan got a girlfriend and I think Robin has a girlfriend too. So we see Candiace walking into her dance practice to make magic. And she lets us know that for this video, she's looking for a fast and furious chic look. Driving back to you video. So, you know, she's incorporating the driving with the whole, you know, Fast and Furious thing. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not really big on those movies, so I guess. Now, she also mentions to us that Ashley will not be an extra, and they give us a flashback to the birthday dinner where, Candiace called her a wide-bodied, big forehead, whatever she went in on that girl about. Basically later on in that conversation, Ashley was like, well, don't worry, because I got something else to do anyway. So I don't think she's worried about not being an extra in her video. So Candiace, she's in this practice and she can't seem to catch the rhythm of the stroke. She's off beat. She's clumsy. And so she says, I'm not confident. And yeah, we can tell because it's not that good. And she goes on to say that she's no dancer, but she needs to prove to record labels that, she is a serious artist. So she's out here pushing. She's also pushing her checking and savings to the limit because she lets us know that she's already blown 10K on this video alone. Girl, the Instagram kids is doing it with their iPhone. So I'm sure you could have found somebody online that could have helped you and you could have saved some of your money, because 10K for that? Okay. So she FaceTimes Chris and they talk about how, they need them 6 cars for the video. And Chris basically cuts her off and he's like, I got this taken care of. And, just don't worry about it. But I do have class until 6:30 that night. So she says that she's basically devastated that Chris won't be at the video. But the last thing that she wants to do is give Dorothy fodder. So she said, basically, she don't want Dorothy, her mama, to be talking that smack because she knows her mother already feels that this is a bad idea to be having Chris manage her anyway. So for her to tell her anything, any inkling that there's any type of a struggle between the two of them is going to give Dorothy everything, all the life she needs. So Candiace is like, no, ma'am, I will keep this in. We gonna work this out. So Chris basically tells her that, we got to get this done in one shot because the sun ain't going to wait for your ass. We got to get this done. So Candiace said, you talk to me crazy sometimes. And I just like, but Candiace, you talk to everybody crazy. You talk to everybody reckless. So it's just so funny to me just hearing her say to this man that he talks to her crazy, because Candiace, you literally have the worst mouth out of anybody on this show. Let's keep it a buck. So Chris says, well, sometimes you don't realize who I am when you are talking to me. And Candiace says, no, you don't be realizing who I am when you talking to me, because basically you work for me. Wow. So Chris says, basically, if I say that I have it under control, you should be trusting me. I mean, have I fucked up yet? Well, we gonna see. Right, so here we are at the moment of truth. Candiace video shoot. Out. So we see the makings of a video set and Mia arrives first. Now, I don't know much about that Fast and Furious, like I said, but I guess the tights and the cutoff jeans shorts is what they do, because Wendy came through. She had her cutoff shorts on with the tights, but she was Suwu to the beehive with the big bloody rag like she was Tupac. So I guess, Wendy letting us know she got a little thug life in her register too. So she's a doctor, a political commentator, a mama, a thought, and a thug. I ain't mad at it, baby. So they can't seem to find Candiace or anyone to give them direction. So they're just wandering around. And Giselle comes through looking like Geordie LaForge from Star Trek with them glasses on. Now, for those of you that don't know, that was one of LeVar Burton's most coveted roles prior to Reading Rainbow. So Giselle gets there and, again, her and Wendy greet, and she lets us know that, although they did call a truce, she had to put her hater shades on. Hence, that's why she has those LeVar Burton Reading Rainbow glasses on. I thought it was giving the lyrics to maybe Candiace's song or something, because it looks like a teleprompter that she got on top of her head. But anyway, Dorothy arrives, Miss Dot. So she's stepping in with her beauty supply fashions. Now, I know, this ain't Tokyo Drift. This don't look like Fast and Furious theme to me. But I guess that's the mama. So here we are. So Mia started kissing ass and telling her, that she looked like she Candiace's sister when she know damn well she don't look like that woman's sister that look like her mama. And then she asked her how old she is. Like, Mia, girl, that's rude. Like, I don't know. I don't think I would, if I met a good friend, even not even a good friend, an acquaintance's mother, I wouldn't be sitting here like, well, how old are you, girl? Within the first 5 minutes. No, that's rude as hell. And I agree with Wendy. So Candiace finally makes it to her video. Okay. So she said that they had just got back from the auto body scene. And honestly, it looks really good. I have to give it to Candiace. She's trying, and I got to give it to her. She's doing her thing. So we see Robin show up with her DIY rip tee. Okay. I guess, again, this is Fast and Furious. Now, Candiace gets alerted by Warren, the production assistant, that, they're still waiting on those cars. And the sun is setting as well. So this little race against time is just not cute. So in this scene, pretty much the only prop is the cars. So it's kind of like if they don't have it, Candiace said, we not about to be dancing in front of no Camrys. She said, we ain't doing all that now. And again, this is one of the things that Chris was supposed to take care of. So, y'all, Chris done messed up the thing. What is up, Chris? You was supposed to prove her wrong. So we see our girl Karen, the grand dame, shows up. And I really like this look. I think it's really chic. Again, don't know if this is really Fast and Furious, but I like it. And then Escale, she came in to round it out with her cutoff jean shorts. Again, that most of the ladies kind of opted for that. So I guess that must have been the thing. All right, so as they were standing around watching Candiace practice, Mia asked Miss Dot, is Chris coming? So Miss Dot, with her little messy self, says, well, I don't know. He was at the house when I left, I just don't know what's going on. But I love Chris. So then at this point, as all this is going on, they let Candiace pretty much know that them cars ain't coming. And that's that. So then Dot continues on talking to Karen, and she basically tells her that she just didn't think that this was a good idea, and Mia just chimes in and starts giving her own, experience about how, when your husband is managing you, it can cause a problem. It can really be a huge issue. And I'm just like, Mia, girl, you just met these people. You really don't need to be over here getting that vocal, because this is going to only come back to haunt you. Some of the other ladies kind of agree with that rhetoric, because as they're talking, you hear Wendy declaring, I don't mess with other people's families. And, indirectly just basically saying, I don't have no words for what they talking about down there. Because, again, we talking about somebody's family again. So Karen speaks on how, basically she feels her and Candiace are just getting back cool, and doesn't really understand why Dot is bringing this to her. And I agree. That was honestly the first thing that I said as I was watching this. Like, first of all, you don't even know Mia. She's brand new. But that there's contention between Karen and your daughter. So I don't get why she felt like it was okay to just start going in like this. So Candiace basically starts asking people if she can use their car and they can pull them around back so they can get it set up. But, the chatter still continues. And Mia goes in and says, is he getting paid? Mia, stop. No, that's none of your business. That is intrusive, and you know that. But I think that Mia is picking up on the fact that Dorothy is pretty much having diarrhea of the mouth right now. And anybody who's willing to listen, she is venting her grievances about Chris. And this is not right. Talk to me down in the comment section. How would you feel if your mom or dad was literally talking to people that aren't even close friends? Some of these people are not even really close with her like this, and she's just spilling it. That's just not cool, Mom. And I would be very upset with my mom. If you out there listening, I'd be very hurt if you were to do something like that. Like, that's just so messy. So Skylar and Wendy walk over to Robin and Giselle, and they basically say, like, y'all need to go get your friend because she's over there doing the most. And she really is. She really, really is. But Giselle goes on and says, well, what did she say? Shoot, go men, because I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know, is he getting paid to be her manager or not? But Wendy lets us know in the confessional, that she really doesn't agree with it. You really shouldn't be asking these types of questions. So Dot continues spilling the tea to Karen and says, I didn't expect for him to just quit his job and be a house husband so quick after they were married. So Karen's like, no, and starts pulling her away. And I think Karen was really genuinely trying to save her from saying something on camera that could be useful. Just like when Giselle's father was hot mic last year. And even though he wasn't on the camera anymore, he still had that mic. And he went on to tell us that he didn't agree with any of the BS that Jamal was kicking and her trying to be back with him while he got his 6-7 baby mamas out here having all these kids. Yes, these parents be coming on the show and be telling the truth and shaming the devil. So I really feel like Karen was trying to take this opportunity to try to, nuh-uh, baby, don't do this, because you might regret what you're about to say. But to no avail, Dot says, oh, I know I'm mic'd. She said, I know I'm mic'd. I know. So then Karen said, well, fuck it, let's get into it. So he quit? She said, well, the restaurant closed, but all I just want for him is just move up and just, refine yourself. So Karen says, I just don't know why I was the chosen one, but pass me by, gentle savior. She started giving us one of them old slave spirituals, one of them Negro spirituals about how she wanted to be delivered from that, because I agree, that is messy. I don't want to hear this tea about you from your mama. No. So they end up doing their thing, and Candiace, she do a little shake whatever in front of the cars, and it's not bad. Like I said, I actually have to give it to Candiace. This was a real concerted effort, and it doesn't feel totally thrown together, let's put it like that. So Chris comes and he is charging down the street in his apron looking mad and mean as hell. So as soon as Candiace sees him, she's all like, nope, I don't need that energy. I don't need that energy. She started acting like a whole battered housewife, like Chris be whooping her ass at home or something. But Chris goes up to Warren and basically is like, Warren told him the people was like, they didn't get the message from you in time to get the cars here. So we kind of see that Chris did F up, and earlier in this episode, he was like, I ain't effed up yet. And unfortunately, spoke too soon, because here we have a mess up. So you can kind of see Chris is a little embarrassed. And, I feel like he really, realized like, damn, it ain't nothing I can do. So I think he just decided to just stay back because, he knew he was going to piss her off if he tried to pursue. But Karen was asking Candiace, meanwhile, if she was okay. And, Candiace again with that battered wife syndrome. Oh my God, he's mad. He's an asshole. I don't need this energy. I don't need it right now. And it's like, well, girl, this is technically what you said you wanted. You said you wanted him here. You wanted him managed. You wanted him managing. You wanted him passionately involved in all this. And so here he is, and now you acting like you ashamed of him. So now Dot had made her way over to Robin. Like I said, anybody that's out here willing to listen, she is spilling it. So she makes her way over to Robin, and basically Robin was like, so why he didn't take his apron off? Now y'all know he cooked. Why they keep bringing this apron up? But anywho, Dot tells her, well, he was cooking at the house when I left. I guess he's supposed to be making money off of that. So Robin said, do you think that he's getting comfortable? Dot says, yeah, I mean, he's been doing sad gigs, but that's a big old house. And basically, Rob and the rest of us are like, okay, so are you saying that they ain't paying their bills over there? So are you still paying the mortgage? Like, what's up? What's going on? So Chris comes down and he greets the ladies, and Giselle asks for some food, and he obviously didn't have none because the boy just came from work, you know. So she gonna say some, Chris, you're a chef by trade, and you didn't bring food, so you couldn't even do that. So now, Candiace, everybody talking about your man coming up short. This why it just wasn't a good idea. So they shoot their last little scene, and the ladies and Chris is looking on, smiling, and finally they embrace. And as they embrace, Giselle basically tells Dot that she told her, yeah, I feel like he on her coattails, and Dot was like, good girl, because that's the truth. Somebody need to tell her other than me. So yeah, talk to me. How do y'all feel about parents that are getting involved like that? Or do you feel like Dot got a leg to stand on because she literally was taking care of both of their big grown asses up until they just got in this house? And as quiet as it's kept, it sounds like she's still footing the bill. So sit down. Tell me what you think. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so you know whenever Talia's dropping that tea. I do thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you have a wonderful week and have a great night. Bye-bye.